Hey folks, Jimmy Kimmel here, your trusty travel guide. Well, not really, but let's pretend. We're about to embark on a cross-country adventure to uncover the top 10 must-visit places in this great land of ours, the USA. We're talking breathtaking natural wonders that'll make you ditch your phone for a pair of binoculars, iconic cities that never sleep. I'm looking at you, New York, and hidden gems you won't find in your average tourist trap brochure. Buckle up, because we're about to dive headfirst into the good old US of A. From coast to coast, there's something for everyone, whether you're a history buff, a thrill seeker, a foodie with an adventurous palate, or just someone who enjoys complaining about long lines. Hey, we've all been there. So grab your fanny packs, pack your sense of adventure, and get ready for the ultimate US road trip. All from the comfort of your couch, of course. Let's get this show on the road. First up on our list is a destination so iconic it practically needs no introduction. Folks, feast your eyes on the Grand Canyon. Carved by the Colorado River over millions of years, this wonder stretches 277 miles long, 18 miles wide, and a mile deep. Mother Nature sure knows how to put on a show, doesn't she? The Grand Canyon isn't just a pretty face, it's an adventurer's playground. Hiking, mule riding, whitewater rafting, you name it, the Grand Canyon's got it. Or take a scenic helicopter tour for breathtaking views. Spend a night under the stars at the bottom of the canyon. From the vast expanse of the Grand Canyon to the towering skyscrapers of New York City, the city that never sleeps and never stops honking, it's a love-hate relationship. Like a friend you love but sometimes need a break from. But that's what makes New York, New York. From Times Square's flashing lights to Central Park's tranquility, this city has something for everyone. New York City sounds overwhelming, right? Fear not, Uncle Jimmy's got your back. First, hit up Times Square. It's crowded, loud, but an experience. Next, stroll through Central Park, New York's backyard, and catch a Broadway show. It's Broadway, baby. Alright folks, buckle up because we're headed to Yellowstone National Park where the buffalo roam and the geysers blow. This ain't your average city park, people. We're talking 2.2 million acres of mountains, forests, and hot springs. That's bigger than some entire states. And speaking of hot springs, Yellowstone is home to more geysers than anywhere else on Earth. You know what that means? More chances to see boiling water shoot hundreds of feet into the air. Just imagine the Instagram possibilities. #geyser goals. Now you can't talk about Yellowstone without mentioning Old Faithful. He's the park's biggest celebrity, and trust me, he doesn't disappoint. Every 90 minutes or so, this geyser puts on a show that'll blow you away, literally. But Yellowstone's not just about hot water and steam. You've also got grizzlies, wolves, elk, bison. It's like a Disney movie, but with less singing and more potential for being eaten. So, word to the wise, maybe skip the selfie with the bison. Now if you're lucky, and I mean really lucky, you might catch a glimpse of a wolf pack on the prowl. These guys are like the rock stars of Yellowstone, always elusive, always cool. Just don't expect them to sign autographs. They're a little busy, you know, being apex predators and all, but even if you don't spot a wolf, there's plenty more wildlife to keep you entertained. You might see a herd of bison blocking traffic, which, let's be honest, is way more exciting than your average traffic jam. And don't even get me started on the elk. Those antlers? Majestic. And then there's the Grand Prismatic Spring. This ain't your grandma's bathtub, folks. It's a giant steaming cauldron of rainbow-colored water. Seriously, it looks like something out of a Dr. Seuss book. You could spend all day just staring at it and it wouldn't get old. So, if you're looking for an adventure that's equal parts breathtaking and slightly terrifying, Yellowstone's the place to be. Just remember to pack your bear spray and your sense of wonder. Next up, we're heading west to the Golden Gate City, San Francisco. This city's got it all: stunning views, delicious food, and more hills than a Stairmaster convention. Seriously, pack your walking shoes, folks. Now I can't talk about San Francisco without mentioning the Golden Gate Bridge. It's like the Eiffel Tower of the West Coast, but instead of croissants, they sell sourdough bread. And let me tell you, that sourdough is worth the trip alone. But the Golden Gate Bridge isn't just a pretty face, it's also an engineering marvel. I mean, they built this thing back in the 1930s, and it's still standing strong. Take that modern infrastructure, and if you're feeling adventurous, you can even bike or walk across the bridge. Just make sure you bring a jacket. San Francisco's famous for its microclimates, which basically means it can be sunny one minute and freezing the next. Now, if you're looking for a different kind of thrill, hop on a ferry to Alcatraz Island. This former prison was once home to some of the most notorious criminals in America, like Al Capone and George Machine Gun Kelly. You can tour the cells, hear stories from former guards, and try to imagine what it was like to be stuck on the rock. Just don't ask me to break you out. I've seen enough episodes of Lock Up to know that never ends well. But San Francisco's not all about bridges and prisons. It's also home to Lombard Street, the most crooked street in the world. Seriously, this street is so twisty and turny it'll make you dizzy just looking at it. And of course, no trip to San Francisco would be complete without a ride on a cable car. They're slow, they're crowded, and they clang like a wind chime factory. In other words, they're perfect. Alright folks, get ready to party because we're headed to Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the city that never sleeps, where the drinks are strong, the slots are loose, and the entertainment is top-notch. Just remember what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Unless you lose your shirt at the blackjack table, then everyone hears about it. Now, I'm not much of a gambler myself. I prefer to keep my money where I can see it, safely tucked away in Guillermo's sock drawer. But even I gotta admit, there's something exhilarating about the Las Vegas Strip. The flashing lights, the giant casinos, the Elvis impersonators on every corner. It's sensory overload in the best possible way. One time I was in Vegas for a friend's bachelor party. Let's just say things got a little out of hand. We're talking Cirque du Soleil, pool parties with celebrity DJs, and enough shrimp cocktails to sink a small island. By the end of the weekend, I was exhausted, broke, and had a newfound appreciation for sensible shoes. But hey, that's Vegas, baby. Now you might be thinking, Jimmy, I'm not really into gambling, and you know what? That's okay. Because believe it or not, Las Vegas has something for everyone. You got world-class restaurants, incredible shopping, and enough live entertainment to make your head spin. Want to see a Broadway show? Vegas has got it. How about a concert by your favorite band? Done. A medieval jousting tournament complete with knights, horses, and turkey legs. Look no further. You can even take a gondola ride at the Venetian, which, let's be honest, is way more romantic than sitting in traffic on the 405. And if you're feeling really adventurous, you can always hop on a helicopter and take a tour of the Grand Canyon. Just make sure you bring your Dramamine. So, whether you're a high roller or a penny slot enthusiast, a foodie or a showstopper, Las Vegas has something for you. Just remember to pack your stretchy pants and your sense of adventure, and maybe leave your credit cards at home. Just a thought. Miami, Miami, Miami. For a city named after a Will Smith song, it's surprisingly not all that bad. We're talking sunshine, beaches, and enough neon lights to make Vegas jealous. It's like if a disco ball and a retirement home had a baby, and that baby was somehow incredibly cool. And speaking of cool, let's talk about South Beach. This is where you go to see and be seen, preferably while wearing as little clothing as legally allowed. You've got your Art Deco buildings, your impossibly tanned people, and enough overpriced cocktails to sink a cruise ship. But hey, you're on vacation, right? Live a little. Just try not to get caught in a downpour during a high tide. Those streets can get a little moist. And by moist, I mean you might need a snorkel to get to your next mojito. Now, I'm not saying you're going to walk into a cafe and find Fidel Castro sipping on a café con leche, but you will find some of the most authentic Cuban food this side of Guantanamo Bay. We're talking ropa vieja that'll make you want to slap your mama, in a good way, and plantain so good, you'll swear you hear Celia Cruz singing. And after you've had your fill of delicious Cuban cuisine, it's time to work off those calories the Miami way dancing. Salsa, merengue, bachata, they've got it all. Just try not to step on anyone's abuela's toes. Those ladies are ruthless. But hey, if dancing's not your thing, you can always just stroll down Calle Ocho and soak up the atmosphere. There's always something going on, whether it's a dominoes tournament, a political debate that's a little too close to home, or a chicken trying to cross the road. Hey, it's Miami, anything goes. So there you have it, folks, Miami. It's hot, it's humid, and it's a whole lot of fun. Just don't forget your sunscreen, your dancing shoes, and your tolerance for overly affectionate parrots. Trust me on that last one. Alright, let's talk New Orleans, baby. This city is like a giant year-round Mardi Gras, minus the whole flashing for beads thing, well, mostly minus that. We're talking about a city that knows how to party, and they've been perfecting it for centuries. First things first, you gotta try the food. And I'm not just talking about your average po' boy, although those are pretty fantastic too. We're talking about gumbo, jambalaya, beignets, food so good it'll make you want to slap your mama. But in a good way, of course. And speaking of slapping, you can't go to New Orleans without experiencing the music. Jazz, blues, funk, soul. It's a musical gumbo that'll have you tapping your feet and shaking your... well, you get the idea. But the real magic of New Orleans lies in its people. They're warm, they're welcoming, and they know how to have a good time. It's like the entire city is one big, dysfunctional family reunion, and you're the guest of honor. Now I know what you're thinking, Mardi Gras, beads, hurricanes, and giant plastic cups. And yeah, Mardi Gras is definitely an experience. Just be prepared for a lot of crowds, a lot of noise, and a lot of questionable decisions. But hey, that's all part of the fun, right? But New Orleans is so much more than just Mardi Gras. Take a stroll through the French Quarter with its wrought iron balconies and colorful buildings. Get lost in the Garden District with its stately mansions and lush gardens. Or hop on a steamboat and cruise down the Mississippi River. And if you're feeling really adventurous, take a ghost tour. New Orleans is known as one of the most haunted cities in America, and for good reason. Just don't blame me if you end up spending the night with a friendly ghost named Marie. So there you have it, folks. New Orleans, it's a city with a rich history, a vibrant culture, and a whole lot of soul. Just be sure to pack your appetite, your dancing shoes, and maybe a spare liver. Alright folks, buckle up because we're headed to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Now I know what you're thinking, D.C., isn't that where fun goes to die? And yeah, okay, it's not exactly known for its wild nightlife, unless you consider watching C-SPAN until you pass out wild. But hey, D.C. quote, S got its charms. For starters, most of the museums are free. That's right, free. You can wander the halls of the Smithsonian, get up close and personal with the Hope Diamond, and learn everything there is to know about the history of taxidermy, all without spending a dime. You know, if you're into that sort of thing. Of course, no trip to DC would be complete without a visit to the National Mall. It's like a giant, grassy monument to American history. You've got the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, the World War II Memorial. It's enough to make you want to brush up on your American history. Or at least pretend to, while you're taking selfies. And hey, if you're lucky, you might even bump into a politician or two. Just try not to ask them any hard-hitting questions, okay? They don't get paid enough for that. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, Jimmy, the museums are great and all, but what about the food? Well, fear not, my friend, because DC has got you covered. You can find a decent half-smoke or a crab cake that'll knock your socks off. DC has no shortage of fancy-pants restaurants with Michelin stars, but the real beauty of DC lies in its hidden gems. Tucked away are charming neighborhoods, quirky museums, and some of the best people watching. So ditch the tour bus, grab a map, and go get lost for a while. You never know what you might discover. Washington, D.C. It's not just for politicians and history buffs. It's a city full of surprises, from world-class museums to hidden culinary gems. Just don't forget to pack your walking shoes and your appetite for knowledge. Aloha, everyone. We're heading to the Aloha State for number 9 on our list. Honolulu, Hawaii. And let me tell you folks, this place is the real deal. First up, we've got Waikiki Beach. You know those picture-perfect beaches you see on postcards? Yeah, this is one of them. Turquoise water, soft sand, surfers catching waves. It's like something out of a dream. And the best part? You don't have to be a millionaire to enjoy it. Sure, there are fancy resorts lining the beach, but there are also plenty of affordable options. You can rent a surfboard, learn to paddleboard, or just work on your tan. Speaking of tans, don't forget the sunscreen. I learned that the hard way once. Let's just say I looked like a lobster who'd been left in the microwave too long. Not a good look, folks. Now, Waikiki Beach isn't the only thing Honolulu has going for it. A short distance away is Pearl Harbor, a place of solemn reflection and remembrance. Visiting Pearl Harbor is a powerful experience. You can explore the USS Arizona Memorial, learn about the events of December 7, 1941, and pay your respects to the brave souls who lost their lives. It's a somber reminder of the past, but also a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It's an experience that will stay with you long after you leave. And hey, after a day of exploring history, you can always head back to Waikiki Beach for a Mai Tai and some live music. Because in Honolulu, it's all about finding that perfect balance. And for our final destination on our whirlwind tour of America, we're going to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. Now, I know what you're thinking: traffic, smog, influencers taking selfies. And yeah, okay, Louisiana has its quirks, but it also has a certain undeniable charm. First stop, Hollywood Boulevard. Sure, it's a little touristy, but come on, you can't go to LA and not see the Walk of Fame. Just try not to step on anyone's star, okay? Those things are expensive. And who knows, you might even run into a celebrity or two. Last time I was there, I saw Matt Damon buying a hot dog from a street vendor. True story. But LA is more than just Hollywood glitz and glamour. If you're looking for that classic California vibe, head over to Santa Monica Pier. You've got the Pacific Ocean, the beach, the Ferris wheel. It's basically a postcard come to life. You can rent bikes, go for a swim, or just people watch to your heart's content. And if you're feeling brave, you can even try the roller coaster. I wouldn't recommend it after a churro though, just saying. So there you have it, folks. Los Angeles, a city of contrasts, contradictions, and endless possibilities. Just like America itself. Well, there you have it, folks. Our whirlwind tour of the top 10 must-visit places in the USA. From the Grand Canyon to the bright lights of Times Square, from the geysers of Yellowstone to the beaches of Waikiki, America truly has something for everyone. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more travel inspiration. And be sure to tell us in the comments which destination is your favorite. See you in the next video.